All right, guys, and welcome to what will be a very exciting debate about what Manchester United do with the number 10 position, or if in fact they need that position at all. Joining me is Greg from Squawker. Adam, please say hello.
Hi,
there you
guys.
go, there's Adam. We've also got Mo. Thought Mo would say hello then, but he didn't. And Dale.
All right,
there we
hello.
go, nailed it, perfect.
Save my voice, mate. Save my
Good,
voice.
I like it. So, Greg is sat next to me, so he is going to be the first person to offer a solution or a player to the number 10 position. Greg.
Wow, I mean, he's not going to get dropped anytime soon, so I'm going to go with Wayne Rooney. A contentious choice, I know, because he's not the most popular man with every set of supporters. But I think to some extent he is a little bit hard done by at times. I mean, he is what he is these days. He's not the kind of, all-action, tub-thumping player we kind of expect him to be perhaps when he was a young man. He's got very old legs for a player of his age. I mean, you look at Ibrahimovic being 34 and you think maybe Rooney's the 34-year-old forward. But anyway, having said all that, in the 15 minutes at the end of the game against Hull, I think he was actually the best player on the pitch. He made the things happen. He did the one great bit of running to get past the defender and feed the ball in for Rashford. And I think, he's not a number 10. He's not, is he? But let's wake up from the fiction, the fantasies. He's not gone anywhere, so we've got to get with the programme and kind of just get used to Mourinho playing him. And you've got to play to his strengths. He's more of a second striker. I mean, do United even need number 10? I think Rooney is the man. If you build him through the middle with the creativity coming wide, he could still get his goals, he could still win his games.
Okay, before the others chime in and start to tear you apart for picking Wayne Rooney, I just want to point out, Greg, perhaps the best way to argue for Wayne Rooney to be Manchester United's number 10 is not to say he's got very old legs, and perhaps not to say he's not even a number 10.
Well, it's an argument from realism. I'm not going for fantasy. I'm saying let's wake up to reality. Rooney's going nowhere. Yeah, he is on number 10 whether you like it or not, and actually he's pretty damn good at it when you play the way that he wants to play. United don't have these number 10s like Mesut Ozil. We like direct players. We like players that don't dwell on the ball. And Rooney, he might dwell on his feet a bit, but he doesn't dwell on the ball. He tries to make things happen. So.
Okay, Adam. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
That's pretty much more of the same of what we've had, and I'd rather not, to be honest. I think Rooney can do a job there, but not every week. He's killing me now, watching him say. It's like watching him, sometimes he controls the balls and he's bouncing off his knees and his shins and the floor, and you can't control it anymore. And then he's very slow. His passes don't always get there. I think in the first half against Hull, about 6 of his passes were to a Hull player. It's just really frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing with Rooney is, right, I mean, Greg's talking about like for 15 minutes at the end of the game. That's basically all he ever gives you is little spurts. Even if he plays well for an entire game, it'll be only for like 5 games in a row, and then he just stops playing well. He's not, like, he's a busted flush, and it's the saddest thing in the world, really, when you remember how good he was a decade ago. Even half a decade ago, this guy was incredible. But, the only place for him, as I've said this before, the only place to put Wayne Rooney, if you're talking about forcing him into the side, is right wing, because he can still cross the ball and he can still work really hard. That's basically all he can do. So you stick him in right wing. Yeah, but honestly, number 10, no. He doesn't move the ball. He hasn't cracked 20 goals a season since 2011-12. I mean, come on. You've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You can't pair the two.
I mean, Mourinho's won a lot of titles, and he seems to think you can. So I'm kind of going to go with him a little bit on that. The thing, I'm not saying let's play Wayne Rooney's number 10. I'm saying play him in the hole. Play him like a second striker. I mean, that's what he's good at. I'm not saying let's do these beautiful defence splitting passes. He's basically a blunt object of trauma these days. So let's use him as one. Let's just swing him at people.
I think Jose's giving him the rope to hang himself with, to be honest.
I think if you want to get Rooney into his side and force him into centre forward, I think as number 10, he hasn't got the mobility to do so. He's slow. Slows down every attack. His first touch, as McKola said, is all over the place, like a pinball machine. And there's better options there, but I think, as Greg said at the start, he is the captain, and I think Mourinho is going to force his way in somewhere or other. And as I said, centre forward, he's not going to take Zlatan Ibrahimovic out of the team. So realistically, although I don't agree, I think it will be number 10, unfortunately. But the whole thing about mobility and speed, it does worry me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you all a question. Do you believe, honestly, deep down, right inside your souls, where your darkest secrets are kept, that Wayne Rooney is playing because Mourinho feels he's undroppable, when you consider that surely Mourinho's focus is just he has to be successful, he has to win. He's kicked Bastian Schweinsteiger, I know a different player, he doesn't have the longevity at Manchester United that Rooney has, he's kicked him aside with no care in the world. Happy to face the media and answer questions and explain that this man will not play for this club. purely because he wants to be successful and thinks that's the way to do it. And Wayne Rooney is a player that fans are publicly calling to be taken out of the team. So there's no pressure on him to keep him in there. He took John Terry out of the team at Chelsea. Do you honestly believe he just plays him because he's Wayne Rooney?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you look back at the Chelsea team that was massively underperforming last season. He didn't take players out that were out of form, because with Mourinho, it's not always about the technical ability or how good you are. It's about mentality. And the one thing Rooney does have, he is still very mentally strong. He's got the determination. He's a leader in that dressing room, whether people like it or not. And people do look to him, even to boost morale and kind of, come on, lads, we can do this. And I think Mourinho does respect that. And he respects his presence, his influence. And even if he hasn't got the technical skills or maybe the legs that he used to have, he's still a competitor of the highest level. I mean, he still wants to get that target that Swaby Charlton's got. He's got his eyes on a particular prize. It might not be the one everyone wants him to be anymore. And he's not the new Gaza and stuff. But I think he's still an asset. I think Mourinho still sees him as a bit of a guy who's still world class in his head, maybe.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, that's the thing with Rooney. Is like he's he's not a toxic presence in the dressing room, which is what a lot of veteran players become when they lose their ability. They become like Raul did at Real Madrid. They become manipulative figures and they start holding back other players. Rooney, by all accounts, is a fantastic person and a really, really good leader in the locker room. Everyone keeps talking about how great he is. So that's almost a problem, because if he was toxic, you could just say get rid of him. But he's not actually toxic. He's a really good leader, really good presence to have around the youngsters. But it's like he's just not very good on the pitch. It's a real problem. I think when the Europa League comes around, we might see him and Zlatan rotate the number 9. Just a thought.
Okay.
That's what I think. Rooney should just be back up to Zlatan. And I do think Jose, but I hope Jose will eventually see it. This isn't me disrespecting Rooney. To get the best out of him, I think we have to take him out of the team, because like with Real towards the end of their careers, Carrick, Giggs, etc., you need to pick and choose when you're going to play them. You can't be playing them week in, week out. I think at the moment, every week, Rooney's done something which has kind of saved him. I mean, the assist for Zlatan, brilliant against Southampton. The assist for Rashford the other day, the goal against Bournemouth. So he's kind of digging himself out with the odd little assist or goal here. I think that'll dry up eventually, and Jose will see it.
Okay, all right, let's move on. Adam, your choice for the number 10 position.
Juan Mata.
And tell everybody why.
Well, basically, Juan Mata is a beautiful guy. He's got a great beard. He's a nice man. And just give it to him, innit? Nah, I mean, on a serious note, I think the best options for number 10 for me are Mickey T and Juan Mata. The reason I picked Juan Mata for my number 10 was because I believe if you play a 4-2-3-1, Mkhitaryan in the wide right position, similar to what he done for Dortmund at times, he's able to then drift in, and I think he's more dangerous when he's able to do that. I also think Mkhitaryan has more pace to his game, so if you put him in a wider area, he's a little bit better. At the moment, been putting Juan Mata out right, and he's far too slow to play there. And I know that sounds weird, because then putting him in number 10, his pace may be a problem, but I don't think it will be. Wayne Rooney's not as quick as he was, and he's playing there week in, week out. If we play Juan Mata there, I think what I've seen, especially against Southampton at home, was when we were playing those short, intricate passing moves that we seemed to get going when the fullbacks were bombing on in front of the wingers. Wayne Rooney was like a pinball machine in there, couldn't control it. And I think Juan Mata offers so much more. I think he's able to link up with players and just take him. Set pieces he can take as well. Juan Mata's that guy. Put him in number 10. Mickey T out wide on the right. Martial on the left. Jobs are good one.
Interesting. Okay, guys, how do we feel about that? Greg, you recently wrote an article for Squawker about Mata. Maybe you can weigh in.
Yeah, I mean, I love what Juan Mata's about, but I'll be honest with you, again, having backed Rooney, I'm now going to, kill another golden calf. I don't think Juan Mata's a playmaker, which sounds like a crazy thing to say, but
does a bit.
I mean, his best performance at United had come out on the wing, playing almost like a poacher, like dipping in behind the defence, finding space which nobody else has seen, and getting a shot off. I mean, it's what he did at Anfield when he scored those goals against Liverpool. So I kind of think he doesn't look like the kind of player that would get into past great United teams at number 10, because we don't tend to play with that kind of player. He ambles on the ball a bit, and you compare him to players like Ozil and even David Silva and number 10s like that. I don't think Matt actually creates that many moments, really. He doesn't create passes that split defences. He's more of a guy who just makes the process a bit slicker. He makes that move of passing the ball around the box to try and find a way in. I'm not saying he's a boring player. He's got a lot of skill, but he doesn't really change the pace of a move in the way that I want a playmaker if you're going to have him in the team to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say Juan Mata is basically a really, really fancy, really, really likable version of Adam Lallana. Like,
That is
incredibly
harsh.
He makes everything better around him. He's an incredibly lovable guy, but he's not your guy. He's not the guy. I'm sorry, he's just not. He's just not. If you want to win things, he's just not. I love him to death. I think he's one of probably the most likable.
You would not have just compared him to Adam Lallana.
Wasn't he part integral to the team that won the Champions League at Chelsea?
That was a bad team.
Yeah, they also missed the penalty in the
Champions League.
They are, but I mean, Liverpool won the Champions League against AC Milan, didn't they? I mean, that Liverpool team weren't good, and that's why Mata was the 10, because he had a more functional team around him that needed artistry. We've got so many good players. I don't think he's quite good enough to justify being the man in the same way.
Interesting.
I think with the players that we have, if we're going to play a number 10, and we're going to play Mkhitaryan, I think Mkhitaryan should be right. Mata should be number 10. Simples. And I think, can't we just bring back Teddy Sheringham?
He might be slightly old. I mean, I know
he was old when we had him.
Yeah, but it might just be pushing it.
No, but he was like, you see how Rooney Rooney should have looked after himself like that. He didn't need his pace. If Rooney still had that yard in his head, oh man, he could still play there. But sorry, I'm just backtracking.
You are slightly. It's fine.
Can I say Teddy Sheringham?
Well, man, for number 10.
We definitely cannot consider Teddy Sheringham. Just so we're all clear, that is not an option. All right, guys. Okay. Does anybody else have anything else to say on Juan Mata? No, I think that means. Okay, Dale, would you like to go?
Yeah, my option was Mkhitaryan. Just touching on what McKola said about the 4-2-3-1. McKola opted for Mata as number 10. I'm going to side with Greg on this one. I think Mata on the right finds certain holes from out wide. He drops in and it makes life difficult for the opposition. Whereas Mkhitaryan, watching at Borussia Dortmund, he offers that pace, and there's so many different sides to his game from number 10. He finds the holes out wide, and he has that intelligence to find that defence bit and pass that you see from your Mesut Ozils, your Silva, and that. I think we lack that, and as well as in addition to that, he offers lots of pace. He's good at running onto the ball, and inside the box, he's incredibly dangerous. So when I look at Mkhitaryan, I think I want a player that's going to cause havoc inside the box, the opposition, going to create goals, and the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I think he just creates so many opportunities for them, and you think out wide down on the left, you have Martial with pace. I think we need to hit defences with pace. You look at seasons gone by, we talk about United being lethargic, being slow. I just think they like to Mkhitaryan to sign in that eventually when he comes into the team, I want to hit teams like thunder lightning.
Okay. Adam, how do you feel about that?
Give him the win. Now, you know what? I think if you think about it properly, yeah, Mkhitaryan's got that pace in him and that. And we saw against Hull as well. Where was it Hull? When he came on, as he gets the ball in the middle and he's on the turn already before the ball gets there, taking players out, and they have no choice but to bring him down. And I think he is quality there. But the reason I'd put him out right is because I think that would work better.
Well, I understand your logic, Adam.
I quite like the idea of Mkhitaryan in the middle, because then, I mean, what I think United were kind of missing maybe in the first half or the start of the second half against Hull, is we had a little bit too many cooks. So if you have Mkhitaryan in the hole, and when he's back fit, Jesse Lingard on the right, offering that kind of selfless work rate to kind of, not everyone can be the playmaker. Sometimes you need guys to kind of take one for the team and do the functional stuff.
Your Park Ji-sung.
Exactly, the man himself. So if you had Martial left, Mkhitaryan in the middle, Lingard right, and then, Ibrahimovic or Rooney or Rashford up front, I mean, that looks like it's got a bit of everything, hasn't it, really?
As a successful football team, potentially. Mo, you've been quiet on this so far. What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, if you're going to play 4-2-3-1, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against Mkhitaryan number 10. He did it for Dortmund, just exceptionally, moves the ball very well, will combine brilliantly with someone like Zlatan, because, of course, Mkhitaryan, one of his big strengths is he makes plays, but he also runs onto passes, gets into the final third, makes things happen. You look at Zlatan, the way he drops deep. You look at Mkhitaryan, the way he loves to move on. I mean, it's a combo made in heaven, really. You need to get them together, get them into the middle of the pitch, and have them bam, bam, bam into play. And you put Jesse Lingard right wing, you put Martial left wing. You've got, that's probably one of the better combinations you could probably come up with if you're a Man United manager. Really, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take to convince Mourinho to drop Wayne Rooney to make that system happen, but something's going to have to give.
Okay, all right.
He has to be the bargain of the summer, by the way, guys, doesn't he? Mkhitaryan.
In many ways.
27 million.
Although I believe I'm right in saying that Zlatan Ibrahimovic was even cheaper, Adam.
Yeah, but Mkhitaryan is like going to be around for I think, for a few years. Yeah. Quality player.
It's one of the better deals of the summer. Umtiti for 21 million is another really good deal. Mustafi, frankly, for 24 million is, or whatever it is after paying, is a very good deal as well.
Anywho, Mo, the number 10 position at Manchester United. What's your argument?
Yeah. Bin it, mate. That's my argument. 4-2-3-1 is an archaic formation. It's disgusting and leads to horrible football. Get rid of it. Throw it in the bin. 4-3-3 is the way, mate. 4-3-3 is a fluid formation. And I'll tell you why. Because the best, most important player at Manchester United, talking about long-term option, short-term option as well, is Paul Pogba. Right? 89 million quid. Why are you sticking him in a 4-2-3-1? What are you doing to the guy? You know, okay, yeah, at home against sides like Southampton, he can then strut his stuff and boss it because Fellaini will cover, Rooney will just amble around, and then Pogba can just step forward and be expressive. But again, away against Hull, he's going to have to do more defensive work than you want, and then you're wasting your most expensive player in the world, and probably, frankly, your best player. Like, he's just there defending, he's not able to do what he can do because he knows if he goes forward too much, there's no one behind him. You know, we saw that. So what you need to do is you need to liberate this guy. So you need to get rid of the number 10 because, frankly, United, the best option is Mkhitaryan, but United don't really have anyone that's golden there to play there. You go to 4-3-3. You bring Ander Herrera into the side. Now, you've got Marouane Fellaini, who apparently is suddenly a good defensive midfielder. I mean, if you want to talk about praise of Jose Mourinho, look at Fellaini, right? But anyway, so Fellaini's defensive midfielder. Then you get Ander Herrera playing that classic number 8 role, you know, defends, helps Fellaini out a little bit, you know, covers flanks, but then also steps up, pushes forward, moves the ball forward to guys between the lines, aka Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Paul Pogba, because then you got him playing in that left side of a 4-3-3 where he said himself that's his favourite position. You put him in that position where he played for Juve, where he did so well for Juve. I mean, look at these, you know, most Serie A assists last season, 12, 53 tackles, 63 aerial duels won, you know, from that position. You got the most goals from outside the box in Serie A since he joined, which is 14. 300 take-ons completed since joining Juve, which is 57 more than any Man United player has managed in that amount of time. This guy is a dynamo of absolute dominance. You put him in that position, he will thrive. He will fly. You won't need a number 10 because you'll have him playing there. Martial or Mkhitaryan on the right or on the left or wherever you want to put him. Martial on the left if he plays well. If you're not, then put Mkhitaryan there, put Lingard on the right, Zlatan up front. You know, it's perfect. It's a fluid system. It works. You have defensive cover, you have offensive cover, and your main player, your best player, is then suddenly the focal point of your system. 4-3-3. It's the way.
Anybody have any arguments against that? Because that sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Go on, Greg.
I'd love that, but just to return back to the start, is Rooney going to get dropped?
That is not an argument. This is a hypothetical debate, Greg. Right? Please enter into the spirit of this, or all of us ultimately. Look, listen. Ultimately, all of us here, everybody watching, we're all doomed. We are all ultimately meet ghosts. We are all going to perish one day and die. So we can enjoy a hypothetical conversation in which the parameters of the outside world don't affect it. We don't have to admit that Mourinho might be very stubborn and might not relinquish Rooney from his number 10 role. But we might allow ourselves to dream that he might do that, and he might then do something that we would like to see happen.
Well,
we're going to do is discuss what we would most like to see.
If we're dreaming.
And is there any reason that Pogba free roll is not the best option?
No, I think it's great. Let's do it. If we're dreaming.
I will add, Rooney's undroppability does not counteract 43 because, like I've said before, you just play him on the right or you play him on the left. What he did against Hull, he did in left wing. You know, you play him on the right, he can still cross the ball. No one can argue. He can still cross the ball.
You're ruining this for yourself. Nobody wants to play a formation that drops one of our many talented wingers for Wayne Rooney as a winger.
Hey, if you're being realistic, if you want to be dreaming like I am dreaming,
This is a... Oh no.
4-3-3.
Okay,
it's the
Adam,
way,
what do you make of that?
4-3-3 means the end of Wayne Rooney. I do think we will progress to a 4-3-3 eventually, and I think when we're back in the Champions League, which is going to be next season, we'll use that formation more often than not. But I can't, like I say, if you use that, it means you drop Wayne Rooney completely, because where does he play other than that? Not up front, because Lallana and Rashford are better options. Not out wide, because just God no. So Yeah, I can't see it happening yet until Rooney's been palms to the bench.
Dale.
Very much with Adam on that one. I can't see Mourinho changing to a 4-3-3 anytime soon. Eventually, maybe next year, but I can't see Rooney being dropped just
I feel
yet.
like you guys aren't entering into the spirit of that. It's hypothetical. You are allowed to do things that you don't think will happen.
Sam, I am so sorry for this.
Mourinho is not going to come and be like, guys, cancel Full-Time Devils. I'm not doing that. It's okay to express an
Dale was
opinion.
going to chip in.
I do
Go on,
like
Dale.
the idea of switching things around and trying different things out, but realistically, you look at it right now, we're winning games, we're dominating games. There's no reason to change it drastically. Next season, when we're in Champions League, which we will be, as Adam said, we definitely will be in Champions League next year, 100% confident. That's when you go away to different ground, you try different things. Maybe even the Europa League, you might try different things. But right now, we're winning.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Everyone's like, we're winning games. United are winning games. It's easy. It's whatever. But look, United haven't really played anyone great yet. United. The second United, second United play an elite side, unless Mourinho parks the bus, which he's going to park the bus. So this is really kind of a stupid thing to say, but if United try and play open against an elite side playing 4-2-3-1, they'll get ripped to bits on the counter attack because when Rooney's not going to cover Paul Pogba, and Paul Pogba's going to have to go forward and attack. So. Huh?
Eric Bailly.
Eric Bailly is one man. Eric Bailly, I love Eric Bailly. He's a great defender, but he's not. Oh.
Bailey intercepting that opinion.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sure it's,
That was beautiful from Greg. Clip that up, please. We'll just let that go around the internet. Anytime someone writes something they don't like, intercepted. Right. How about closing thoughts? You can all have, let's say, 14-ish seconds. Greg.
Rooney's not going anywhere, but if he did, Paul Pogba's got to be going into a 4-3-3. You look at what happened at Juventus, he's best with a left back bombing on next to him, and with Martial as well, he just looks like a perfect partner. So imagine that left side, if you had Luke Shaw bombing on, combining with Paul Pogba, combining with Anthony Martial, running into the box, with all that space where there's no longer a 10 because they all can do their magic. I mean, that's what we bought him for, isn't it? That's what we bought Paul Pogba for. So, I mean, that's ideal, but I still go back to Mr. Boring Realism. Rooney's going nowhere, so...
Okay. Adam.
Yo. I'm just going to tell you like this, yeah.
Drop a beat.
4-2-3-1. Mata in number 10. Mickey T. Martial. Zlatan. Triple M behind the Z. Just do it. Just do it. You know it makes sense, guys. Get your votes in below.
Dale.
Mata for number 10. Hashtag Mata for number 10. Everything,
Sky Sports HQ Mata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dale.
Hashtag Mickey T. I'm looking at 4-2-3-1 again, looking at pace, hitting teams with speed and frightening everyone, frightening every defence. Mickey T in the centre. On the right, we have a mixture. We can play Jesse Lingard. There's a number of options, Mata and so on. But on the left, once he starts performing, you have Memphis. And hopefully, you have Martial too. If they both start performing, we're laughing here. But Zlatan up top scoring goals. You just need to hit teams at pace. Hashtag pace.
Yes.
Mo?
Hashtag raw pace.
Dale's just broken my heart a little bit by mentioning Memphis. Oh, God, I hope no one would do that for a while. No, 4-3-3 is the way. 4-3-3 is...
Whoa.
Stick by
What's up with
Memphis.
Oh, I just love the guy, man. He's so talented, but he's just wasted himself. Anyway, yeah, 4-2-3-1 is a dead, archaic formation. It's horrible. It leads to negative nonsense. You need fluidity. You need to compete at the highest level with the most beautiful football. That's 4-3-3. That's Paul Pogba left side of midfield. Greg just made all my arguments for me, so I'm just like, yeah, just what Greg said, basically. I'm right.
Okay. Coming in as though I've just listened to all of this and never watched football before in my life.
Sam, just remember this, Sam. Just remember this. Although his argument may have been better and make more sense, Mo ended his with, I'm right. Do you really want to agree with someone that ends their argument
Sorry,
with that?
sorry, Adam. Hashtag I'm right.
So, right, this is my conclusion from this video. It is that if we are going to play with a number 10, I find it very difficult to choose between Mkhitaryan and Mata because I actually really like the way Mata disappears in games and then just floats in because he finds space that no one else has spotted. And actually, for the most part, Valencia doesn't seem to need he doesn't need the running of Jesse Lingard next to him. We, for most of the season, can afford to play Mata out wide and just let him drift in and out and appear in the box and you didn't even know he was there, and chip him with goals.
Magicianous.
All of his goals that he scored at United, pretty much, are all inside the box because he just appears out of nowhere, and he's great at that. And if Mkhitaryan can offer speed through the middle, then maybe that's the way to go. But what would be good about having both of them there, I guess, is that there's no reason they can't interchange with each other. Mata hasn't got to stay wide and Mkhitaryan got to stay central. I mean, that probably doesn't make less sense for Martial.
You didn't say this at the start of the argument,
Pardon?
Sam. You didn't say we could throw this.
Well, just as I've been listening. So I'm somewhere between I'm a Matatarian. That's where I am. But if not, then obviously the whole point of buying Paul Pogba for £89 million is to unleash him and say, just go out there and stamp all over everybody. Not literally, figuratively.
Have at it.
Yeah, go mad and win the game. So it's quite difficult, but those are my mixed thoughts. I don't think they helped anybody get anywhere. Matatarian for the win. Let us know what you think. Get it in the comments below. This is quite an interesting debate. And also, just because I see this now and again, please don't write in the comments, we need to get Rooney to beat Bobby Charlton's record so he can leave as our #1 goal scorer. That is not how records work. Nobody gave Bobby Charlton goals. Nobody gives Wayne Rooney goals. Get your heads in order. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
So Zlatan Ibrahimovic has had a fairly decent start to his Man United career, hasn't he?